Good morning, afternoon. How about just good day, depending on where you're at in the world? I'm coming in today because I had the thought about when you started your studio. I'm sure one of the top reasons was to really make an impact in the lives of your students. But how exactly are you doing that? And is it staying front and center? Definitely not hiding in the wings, right? How are we doing that? So, in this week's episode, I'm going to go ahead and dive into how do we define what it means to make an impact and how to make sure that you're living up to this vision in this area as we start off the new season. So if you're joining me, say, hey, Erin, what's up? Let me know that you're here. Always want to know who is with me as I come on live every single Friday. And so say hello. This is an active conversation. And if you're new here and you've just stumbled upon this broadcast somehow, I'm Erin Bird. I'm your hostess with the mostest. I support dance studio owners and educators to really grow their businesses without the overwhelm, the burnout, or sacrificing the personal lives. We believe, and actually, it's funny that this one is on here because it boils down to three things for us. It boils down to making an impact, right? Building a legacy, creating a legacy, and building an empire, right? And that can mean different things to different people. But my friends, we are here to support you in finding your own unique vision of success, which ties into today. So, hello, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, my friends. So, say hello. Let us know that you're here. We want to know who is with us as we do these lives. And this is an active conversation. We love to learn out loud here. So, what does that mean? If something resonates with you, we want you to type it in the chat for us and let us know. If you have an aha moment, if you're like, I knew that, but I needed to think about it and it's anchoring in the idea for me, we want to know that as well. So, let's have a conversation. Say hello. Let me know what you need. And if you'd like a copy of today's show notes, just drop the word show notes below and we will get those on over to you. So, are we ready to dive into this topic of making an impact? Now, here's the thing. I truly believe with all my heart that almost every studio owner has a servant's heart. They have a piece of them where they're like, I just want to serve. I want to make an impact. I want to change the lives of these children or these dancers. And that's the place that we come from. Of course, right? We're in business to make money and to be a part of a community. Like there's a lot of great reasons for being a studio owner and for being a business owner. But for so many of us, it's impact driven, right? So I can tell you that a lot of what I do is impact driven. And if we go back to why we started this, why I started the coaching and consulting company, the Erin Bird Coaching, which is now turned into Dance Studio Empire, I started to make an impact and to really be able to see my little pebble turn into a ripple and turn into a tsunami. What I also was really clear about was that if I was able to change the life of just one studio owner, then it would be all worth it. Right? Good morning, Vicki. Good morning. So I'm coming from a place that I don't necessarily feel like I need to have, 10,000 studio owners in my programs or my community to serve. No, for me personally, if I can make a difference in just one studio owner's life, then it's all worth it because my desire, my deepest desire is that every studio owner has a business that they love that supports their personal lives and supports them as who they want to be in this world and who they want to show up as. And so sometimes studio owners just need everybody needs a little help, right? And so that is where I'm coming from when it comes from being impact driven. So in the comments, let me know, what does it mean to you to make an impact inside of your business? What does it mean? And what's the goal? How do we define that we've actually been successful in that? So many times we get caught up in all of the things that we stop and pause and say, pat on the back. That was good. That was good, right? So we have to really take the time to think about how are we showing up in our desire to make an impact? What does that look like? And how do we know that we've been successful? And so this is going to be different for every single person. I cannot sit here and tell you, well, you're not making an impact if you don't do XYZ. That's not who I am. It's not about that. It's about what lights you up and what is your vision for your studio, for your business, for your life. So while I get a drink real quick, because, I would love for you guys to put in the chat for me, how are you making an impact in your studio, in your community, right? How are you making an impact? Let me know. Very quiet this morning. It's very, very quiet this morning. Okay, I'm going to continue on. I'm just hoping that you guys aren't in a position, because maybe you're driving or something of that nature, to type in the chat, or maybe they're not popping up. I don't know, but we're going to dive into this real quick. So we have to have kind of a framework and data points to know if we are hitting our desired outcomes. So if making an impact in your studio or in your community is one of your goals, then we need to know, how do we know that we've actually done that? How do we know what's the objective? And then how do we know that we have actually met it? So when you look at making an impact, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Does it mean that you've sparked curiosity in children in your community? Does it mean that you've taught life lessons that they need, and skill sets and mindset that they're going to need to become productive humans in our community? Is it that you are being intentional about getting out there and showing our community that we support them, whether it's through charity or doing community service or things of that nature? What are we doing to make an impact in our studios and our community? Let me know. So some of the things, like we said before, we have to look at that bigger picture and what's your intention, what's your objective, and that is going to lead us to know, are we actually taking action and doing the things that we need to do to make an impact, or do we think it's just a byproduct of what we do inside of our classrooms? What do y'all think? What do you think? So, my first question to you is, how are you making an impact? If I could type. Okay. How are you making an impact? Is it just within the four walls of your studio? Are you reaching out? What are you hoping for? And then how do we track and measure that? Okay. Now, sometimes the tracking and measuring can take years, right? Before we see, it's just like raising children, right? Sometimes we're working on it every single day, every single week. And then, for years and years and years and years. And then as your children start to grow and they start to become the humans and the people that they're going to be, and that might excite you. And you're like, oh my gosh, pat on the back. All those years are finally paying off, right? Same thing can be true of your studio when it comes to being impact driven. So what do I mean by that? If your goal is to help teach, right, life skills, mindset, resiliency, right? All those things that we know get taught inside of our classrooms in a dance studio, we know all of those things are being taught. But how do we measure if we actually are successful in them? How do we measure that? And sometimes it might be, oh my gosh, this child came back to me and told me that they graduated from law school because they learned the skills inside the dance studio to be tenacious, right? To have grit, to never give up, to right? Like, so that's kind of a long cycle there, right? Now there's things that we can do or that we may be doing inside of our community that give us that shorter, quick data points of yes, I'm making an impact. Yes, this is what I'm here for. And that might be something like if you decide that you're going to take your studio and you're going to use it for the good of the community. Maybe you find a local charity in your community that you want to support, that you want your students to get involved in, because again, it teaches them life lessons and skills and things that we need. And so that you might see the tracking, the data come back and say, oh my gosh, everybody came back after this event and they were raving how the kids loved it because they got to be involved. The parents loved it because they could see their child being kind and empathetic, and right. So there's different ways to know if we are making an impact or not. But my friends, if making an impact is your goal, is one of your top goals when it comes to owning your studio, if it is, which I think for most of us, it should be, right? How are we and our staff showing up every single day to make sure we are living and breathing this value? How are we showing up? Are not just me, being back here, the cheerleader, yeah, right? Are my staff being the cheerleaders? Are my staff marching to the same drum? Are my staff really living and breathing in how we are going to make an impact? Because that's important, right? And if as the leader, I'm the only one who's like, yay, we need to do this, this is important, da, da, da. My staff are like, is it really though? I don't know. Okay. Yes. Oh, working on a visibility plan. Vicki, we're going to get that going because Vicki is in our Empire Roundtable now. She's signed up in Vegas. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't sing, but I love to make sounds, right? I just love it, right? It's been in me and it has to come out. That's what my mom said when I was a kid. I always would just say, Mama, it's inside me and it has to come out. So maybe, hey, girl. Okay. So maybe, my friends, it's in you and it's got to come out. How are we going to make an impact in our community, in our studio, in the lives of our families? And how are we making sure that we're really nurturing that goal and that vision every single day, right? And this is about, for me, changing the lives of the people around us. And so I am the person who remembers, like, we're in the business of people, right? We are in the business of people. So to me, what does that mean? That means, my friends, that when things happen in people's lives, you support them. You show up for them. You send a card. You send flowers. You check in on them. And while, no, maybe it's not part of, teaching a class or ballet, it's about pouring into people and making an impact in their lives and supporting them. But what happens so many times is that we get disconnected and things get really busy. And then what happens is Maybe we start to, oh my gosh, we have our own thing going on. So we're over here and we assume that our teachers are still living and breathing it every single day. But maybe that's not happening necessarily. And what is the impact that you want to make? What's the impact you want to make? And then we have to make sure that we are intentional every single day about showing up for yourself, for your staff, for your family, your staff, your students. We have to show up. And it doesn't have to feel like this daunting task, but if everybody's on the same page and we're a team and we work together, oh my goodness, that is when magic happens. And that's when we know that we are actually making an impact. When you have those little, oh my gosh, those little drawings that those tiny tots bring you and they just love you, or they bring you something that they think you're going to love. They bring you a little Hershey kiss because they know you love chocolate, whatever it might be. Or you have a parent who calls you. And you guys, I have to tell you, I have a parent who called me who their child is in our program, but they didn't call me about their specific child. They did say, oh my gosh, so-and-so absolutely loves your program. She loves coming to your classes. She just talks all about how silly Miss Erin is and how much she loves you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, makes my heart so happy, right? That alone told me I'm making an impact in that child's life, right? And in the parent's life, because the parent is so happy that their child gets to participate in our program while they're at school. So there's that. But then she continued on and she said to me, Erin, right now, so-and-so's, I'll leave their names out, so-and-so's brother was just diagnosed with autism, and I am feeling a little overwhelmed and I don't know even where to start. And the pediatrician, they gave me kind of a list of resources, but didn't tell me what to really do or anything like that. Can you help me just kind of navigate this? And my answer was yes, absolutely, right? Because I am involved in my community. I make sure that I'm connected. I try to know as many of the services that are possible here or that are available for our community, for children in particular. I try to make sure that I have my my finger on the pulse of what's happening in our community when it comes to our children. And so I'm like, yes, let's talk about it. First thing, let's take a breath, right? Here's where you need to go. I would suggest you do, here's this resource. They're a great jumping off point. Once you get him an appointment there, then you can get an appointment here. Then we could talk about, right? So we started to layer in all of the things. Now, I am by no means like, expert in autism. But what I'll tell you is I know the people who are. And so she felt comfortable enough because we'd made an impact in their home for her to come to me and say, hey, do you have resources for this? That shows we're doing it right, my friends. That shows me that we are living up to our vision in supporting and making an impact every single day. Every single day. And so how do we do this? Well, we have to be intentional about it. We have to make it a priority. And if it's important to you. If it's not important to you, then hey, obviously you don't have to. But I don't think that you would be here with me this morning if it wasn't important to you. If it wasn't important, it is important to you. And that's why you're here, right? Okay. So my friends, my question for y'all is, how are you making an impact? And if you feel like you haven't necessarily hit the nail on the head yet, or it's fallen by the wayside a little bit because life got so busy, right? How do we help you get back to what your big goals and your vision is or are, right? We're here to support you, my friends. Me and the team, we absolutely adore what we do. And sometimes we just need a little bit of help. We need a little help, right? So we're here. So if you would like some support, y'all know, drop it below, reach out, let me know. The last thing I want to leave you with today is that this. Well, number one, I told you that we boil it down at Dance Studio Empire to 3 things, and it's making an impact, building an empire, and creating a legacy. And so I had decided that I thought it was really great for us to dive into each one of those topics really briefly the next couple weeks and really talk about what that looks like and what it means for you, and to get the wheels turning for you as we're moving into this new season. How do we keep this front and center, and if these are some things that are on your heart, then you are in the right place, because we are going to talk about that. So next week on the Erin Bird Live Show, we are going to talk about building an empire, because you got to build the empire before you create the legacy. So, and some of you already have some really amazing things happening where it's like following up for you. You are in line, you're making an impact, you are building the empire right now as we speak, so you can create the legacy and continue to serve your community, your family. And so we're going to dive into that next week. Now, I will tell you guys that one of the things, if you haven't seen or heard, I don't know where y'all been, but we do have our Dance Studio Owners Business Retreat in Ireland. Oh my gosh, in like 3 months. In November, it's happening. And we only have 3 rooms left. It is a small group. Jennifer Randall and myself are teaming up together. We are going to not only go through and create a custom visibility and marketing plan for each studio owner who attends, but you're going to have a one-on-one coaching time with me. You will have one-on-one time with Jennifer. We have specific business building sessions, workshops available. We're going to have fun. We're going to go explore and go on adventures, and there's going to be downtime to rest and relax. And just what if you took a week away from it all to disconnect from the daily grind, to disconnect so you can reconnect with your business, with yourself, and with your goals? And so I created the Dance Business Retreats because sometimes we can have lots of information that's given to us at conferences or things of that nature, and then we go home and we don't know what to do with them, or we're so busy that we don't actually implement. And the Dance Studio Owners Business Retreat is the opposite. It is giving you that time to work on your business instead of in your business. It allows you to be around and connect with other studio owners who are like you, who are really interested in growing and creating their own unique vision of success. Because we have some people who are coming because they're ready to, keep grow. And we have some people who are like, you know what? I actually want to start paring back because I want to retire, and I'm getting ready to go to that legacy piece that we're going to talk about. And so the week in Ireland is about really learning, exploring, relaxing, right? Having time to reconnect and work on your business and getting the support that you need. What will happen in just 1 week is absolutely magical. After the first business retreat that we did in Florida last year, I knew that we were onto something. We were onto something because, my friends, the transformation that happened in just a few short days, bananas, right? I mean, and we have people who are coming back to the next one. Why? Because they know how instrumental they are for their success. And so I'm going to go ahead and pop it in the chat below as well. So that should be there for you guys to take a look at. If you have questions about the retreat, either drop the word retreat, DM me, DM Jennifer Randall. We will talk all about it with you guys. But you just got to get yourself there, and then everything else is taken care of. We've taken away all the guesswork for you so that you can really enjoy your time learn, do, explore. I think there's something to be said about traveling anyway, and really finding out who you want to be and who you are for this next season of life. And so we're going to lean into all of that. And we have some surprises planned for y'all that I will not share yet because I don't want to spoil the surprise. But my friends, no, we have, yes, excursions. We've got activities planned. We've got some things planned, and they're going to be so, so good. And seriously, I cannot wait. And like, the suspense is maddening. I cannot wait to be in Ireland with our next group for the Dance Studio Owners Business Retreat. So we're going to kind of leave it there today. I want you to really think about, how are you making an impact inside your studio, inside your community, and how do you measure when you've been successful? How do you do that? Because here's the thing, sometimes we can, if we're doing all the things and we don't see like it's smacking us in the head, like here's, your desired results. Sometimes it can feel like, what am I doing this all for? So we have to have ways to track and measure so the data doesn't lie to us and we don't start telling our self stories because we have one parent who's wah, 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 and all of a sudden we feel like it's everybody. No, it's ones or twosies, right? You are making an impact. You're doing good in the world. You're showing up, you're supporting, and you are helping foster the next round of kind, productive people in the world. I think that's pretty awesome. And we could say that we are definitely making an impact. So I'm going to leave you there. I hope you have a fantastic week. I will see you next week for the Building an Empire. We're going to talk about how do we build an empire on the Erin Bird Live Show. And my friends, I will see you all very, very soon.